allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Do I have a motion to approve the consent agenda?
I move that we approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Is there any discussion? How does council vote? Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Aye. Motion passes. At this time, we're going to go into open discussion. If anyone would like to speak to the council, please approach the lectern, state your name for the record, and just be mindful of the 5-minute time allowance that you have there. If you have anything that you'd like to give to the council, please give that to the clerk. Is there anyone who wishes to speak in open discussion? You can go ahead and approach the lectern.
My name is Marlene Kernodle, and I live in the city of Mills. My first question is about the water situation. And it's not healthy. A lot of us have health-related issues as a result of the water situation. And is the city of Mills going to take responsibility for our medical care? Because this is your problem. It's not supposed to be fixed for 6 months according to the letter that you sent out. Any feedback from you about what's going on with that?
So which area on the map do you reside in?
I live on 4th Avenue, South 4th Avenue.
So it would be on the other side of the highway, is that right? We're looking at the map.
Yeah, blocked down from the water tower.
So if you look at the map, first and foremost, the water is fine. It's always been okay to drink. We drink it. I'm drinking it currently. It's in my thermos sitting in the room. It's perfectly healthy to drink. The area that was affected is lined out there in the blue lines right there. So that is the one line that was affected, that had the one very minuscule percentage of a higher rate than all of the other lines that we test throughout the city. So it was immediately addressed, it's being immediately corrected to get that back down to a lower level, but that area doesn't affect you, if that makes sense.
Okay, it's just, it's just a concern because the city of Mills is mostly retired people. And there's a lot of elderly people that probably have no idea why they don't feel good, and I don't know how long you've known about the problem or how often you test, but it's a big concern to your constituents.
And I agree, if you're unaware of how testing and the limits and EPA regulations work, the document that you guys received, which was dictated to us by the EPA, by the way, it's very overwhelming, and the wording of it is very serious, and it can feel scary. But for those of us who have to deal with the water day in and day out, they test it hourly at the water treatment plant from where it's made. They test it, they go out into the city and they test it at multiple spots very frequently, because that's our EPA standards. We have to test at multiple different locations throughout the city, send it into the EPA for our test results. So we're constantly, I don't want to misspeak on the individual, but I believe I think it's once I don't want to misspeak. I know at the treatment plant it's hourly. The rest of it is more detailed, and I think, I wish Mike was in this room so he could answer that. But it's important to get that correct, so I don't want to misspeak.
Okay, well, if possible, maybe send us in the city of Mills, maybe it doesn't actually apply to me, but it probably applies to a lot of my neighbors. Send us an update as to what's going on and how it, because according to the letter, it wasn't going to be fixed for 6 months.
I'm not entirely sure that that's how we interpreted it, but we gave a presentation at the last council meeting, which I don't know if you're tech savvy, but it's on YouTube. And so our water treatment supervisor gave a presentation on all of this stuff and how to understand the EPA reporting and how that all goes. And it helped calm some of the people that were in the gallery with some of their questions.
He spoke on the testing standards too, how often they tested in certain areas. So You can find that there.
On YouTube?
Yep.
Okay,
Yeah, if you just search City of Mills, it'll come up for our last meeting.
okay. Well, thank you for
Check
that
with Mike
information.
and Casey, either one of them can also help you out with
Yeah,
that.
she's getting, our treasurer's getting our town administrator, Mike, and he can answer, because that's his job, so he can give you the better answers. I don't want him to speak and tell you the correct days that we test, so.
That's fine. Then my second question was, the thing on the ballot about Metro.
Sure.
I'm confused because, you know, the cost that you listed in the ballot to replace that is far exceeds what it costs your monthly cost to store a few animals in where they're now being housed. So what's the point of spending $1.25 million of our tax dollars for that?
Yeah, I first want to thank you so much for coming and asking. I wish more people would come and ask these questions for clarity. So you're correct in that math. If we do it that way, that you're right. It would have been cheaper for us to just do the yearly contracts, but even though they keep going up. But we know that per our contract, our agreement with Metro, even if this doesn't pass, Metro will be building a new facility. Casper will take that under. And so essentially our portion will be due no matter what because of our contract. So we will have to fund it somehow. And this is the best way that we thought we could help them build a facility that we even feel is most appropriate for housing animals. So I don't know if that makes sense. If Casper, if and when they will build a new shelter, we will get the bill for that either way to help contribute to that because of our contract.
Well, I know my time is up, but what is the percentage of our animals? I mean, there's very few stray animals in Mills, so what is our,
It's based on the population of people. So that's how they base our calculation. And I don't have the numbers in front of me. I want to say it was around 10%, if not quite that we would have to pay. So in the future contracts, we would have to pay for if they have to build for
5%, I think.
5%. So if they have new HVAC and they have systems that need to be maintained, that would 5% would be applied to us throughout the duration of our contract with them. So that's the kind of the lens that we look through it as well. It's all going to come back to us one way or another.
that's an awful lot of money for
It's-
something that,
Yeah.
you know, is really not all that relevant to Mills. I mean,
One way or another, I mean, it is relevant, we have to come up with some place to do it. And we looked at building a facility, that's where the 1.25, I think, kind of comes in, is if it doesn't go there, that gives us the ability to possibly do something here ourselves.
Mhm.
So one way or another, it's gonna be used for animal control. That's
well, there's a
the
lot of
idea,
empty
right?
buildings around Mills, you know, that could probably be renovated for a lot less money than 1.25 million. That was my,
We looked at even using one of our own buildings, and by the time we went and did the sewer systems and the grading to push any of the
When we looked at the contractor for risk, that's what it come in at. Those were the bids, was 1.25, so that's why we settled there, because
yeah,
if it doesn't go to Metro, then that gives us the ability to do something here.
yeah.
thank you.
Thank you for asking. We really appreciate that. I think the unique thing about putting it on the ballot and saying yes is that we know that at least 20% of that comes from tourism dollars. So this is a way for us to, as residents, to take a little bit less of the financial burden to our own pocketbooks.
Anybody else need to speak, want to speak?
Oh, one question on that last thing is, what is this tax? Is this a tax just for the city of Mills or for the whole city, for both, for Casper and everything?
So the one that'll be on the Mills residents ballots only applies to the city of Mills and our boundaries. If Casper residents choose to pass theirs, then it'll apply to theirs. Now, if Mills shoots it down and Casper says yes, then we won't be taxed that.
I'm sorry, I forgot to give my name.
Thank you. I was just going to ask.
Linda Parkinson.
Thank you.
Okay, I just have another question about what's going on across the street by the river. We don't know, so we'd like to know.
That's the, one of the last steps towards the bank stabilization that we got a grant for several years ago. So we put in all the dirt, they did the infrastructure over there, and that was so that we could have a commercial piece of property at some point, and make that more of a developable piece of ground. So what they're doing is they're stabilizing that bank. They're going to put in some better seating and whatnot. You're gonna have more river access. The hope is to have a pathway across the top with river access all the way down. And then in the middle, of kind of a horseshoe type piece with some blocks so that you'll have access to the river at all times, whether it's high or low, all the way down through there.
There's a lot of rumors going around, so
Yeah,
that's.
there's some rumors that there's a school going in over there.
No, they've been saying that for a while, the school's going in it.
Well, I know
Robertson Road,
Wyoming
quite a-
Academy is
Yep.
going out there, but somebody said Casper Academy.
No,
No, okay.
this is the
Thank
last step of the commercial property grant that we got a few years ago.
Yeah, ideally, we would like to see a restaurant, some river access, where we
Well,
can
like
get
the
on
picture
kayak.
that you guys had out.
Correct.
Like that. That's
Yes.
what I thought it was gonna be, and then I heard all these other rumors about a school, and I knew it wasn't Wyoming Classical, because I know where theirs is.
More river access and cleaning up that bank so that the people will have access to the river and be able to utilize
It's a
it more.
beautiful piece of property.
Mhm.
It is, it'll be
It is.
very nice. Okay, thank you.
Thank
welcome.
you. Any other questions,
Oh.
comments? You can approach, when you approach, just state your name for the record, and then just leave a 5-minute time clock.
Okay. Wyatt Worth. I got told to come up here to see if I can get my water turned back on at 606 Platt Ave. I'm a little behind on it. I was actually out of town for a month dealing with some family emergencies, but I can pay it by the end of this month if I can get it turned back on.
Do we know what the bill is?
I show 184.49 is due.
And I can pay the full by the end of the month.
And I believe there's like a $50 turn-on fee,
Okay.
is that correct?
Could we just add that onto the bill?
It's a $30.
30? That's even, sorry, 50 is a little bit much. It's so, does council feel okay with that?
I mean, you said he's gonna pay by the end of the month, that's only a couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I'm okay.
Yeah.
Oh, it's, yeah, it's
I-
all this month.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
that's only a couple of weeks, I'm okay with that.
Yeah. So 31st, yeah.
Awesome.
We'll
Thank you very
schedule
much.
it so I get it turned on for you.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
You guys have a good day.
You too.
You too.
All right, anyone else that would like to speak? Mr. Clem's gonna let us down.
He's been so
You just
quiet.
come to listen.
Yeah, we're sadly disappointed, but okay. Alrighty. This time we'll move into ordinances and resolutions. Ordinance number 818, third and final reading. An ordinance to rezone Lot 2, Hayes Simple Subdivision, City of Mills, Latorna County, Wyoming, from Manufactured Home District, M-H, to Manufactured Home Park District, M-P.
I move that we approve ordinance 818 for a third and final reading.
Is there any discussion? How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Resolution number 2024-38, Robertson Commons Subdivision 3. A resolution for Robertson Hills Commons number 3, in addition to the City of Mills being a vacation and replat of Lot 6, Robertson Hills Commons number 2, City of Mills, Latorna County, Wyoming.
I make a motion we approve resolution number 2024-38.
Second.
Is there any discussion? How does council vote? Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Motion passes. Did you have questions on the approvals, or did we take something off? Or did it get that way?
It's already done.
Okay. So council approvals, final development agreement, Roan rezoning and development.
I move that we approve the final development agreement for the Roan rezone and development.
Is there any discussion?
Can you explain that?
So that one has to deal with the rezoning that we approved on resolution 2024-38, no. Ordinance 818, that third and final reading, so it's for the mobile home park. This is just an agreement between us and them stating how they will treat that mobile home park and that they're gonna have designated lots and one house per lot and things like that, just so that we have a little bit of a way of regulating that.
Is there any other discussion? How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Do I have approval to enter into the Dutchman MOU?
I move that council approves the enter into the Dutchman MOU.
Second.
Is there any discussion?
What is that?
So the Dutchman project is a solar farm, right? Solar farm over in Converse County. And so this MOU is our impact funds request to the state, which is a whole other production, but essentially we're agreeing with all the other entities affected to a certain number of impacts. So these guys come and they work and live and drive through our city, and so a certain amount of impact is felt because of all of the additional workload. So we're asking the state to approve some additional impact funds to cover some of the things that happen when we see that workload increase. Is there any further discussion? How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. At this time, do I have a motion to go into an executive session for a legal issue?
I make a motion that we go into an executive session for a legal issue.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Council has returned from an executive session, legal matter, no action is necessary. Do I have a motion to go into the executive session for a personnel issue?
Move that we go into executive session for a personnel issue.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion is passed by all council.
Still got a tweaked ankle, man.
You know, we can take that ramp out, there's stairs underneath there.
Oh, yeah, huh? I was fucking gonna break my ankle. That's how I feel.
Then you
Council has returned from an executive session personnel. All council is present. Do I have a motion?
I make a motion to approve an administrative action.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes. Do I have a motion to adjourn?
Nope.
I make a motion. Second.
Second.
How does council vote?
Aye.
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 Motion passes.